Pro Pastor is a worldwide ministry that's ran by pastors, for pastors, and the best part about it is it's free to all pastors. Today we have pastors, we have senior pastors and staff members and lawyers. We're so glad to have everybody with us today. We'll be hearing from David Gibbs in a few minutes. I want to share our vision just shortly with you as you're eating. Continue eating. And then we'll need some volunteers up here. We want to actually show you what we call the Champions Table. We want to show you what it looks like, what it feels like, what drives it, what benefits you can get out of the Champions Table. Peter Drucker, the leadership guru, defined the 4 toughest jobs in the United States in no particular order. That's what Peter Drucker said. The U.S. president, a university president, the CEO of a hospital, and a pastor. We made the top 4 of being a tough job, and you know it's a tough job. If you're a pastor, raise your hand. If you're a pastor, you are a CEO, Chief Encouraging Officer. It's your job to encourage, to lead, and to feed, but it's hard work, isn't it? And we applaud you for the work that God has called you to. They interviewed 76 pastors online and were asked if they had a weekly accountability group, and of the 76, only 3 said they met weekly with any of their peers. So they don't need to be sharpened in any way whatsoever. 5 years ago, Paul approached me and asked me to start a trial group. And for 5 years, we turned 5 in May. For 5 years, we meet at 6:15 every Thursday morning at Plant City IHOP. And for 90 minutes, we come together and we share together and we sharpen one another. We laugh together, we cry together, we pray together, we share together, we have synergy there. We have accountability, we have formed friendships, we have confidants, mentors, even sometimes correction, sometimes instruction. They say stuff like this: "You know better than that. What were you thinking?" Because what comes to the table stays at the table. So we bring our garbage, we bring our baggage, and we try to leave with a little lighter load. So the Champions Table is not something that I just have to do. I must go do every Thursday. It's something that I need to do. I need them and they need me. They count on me being there. As iron sharpens iron, one sharpens the other. And when 2 are down, the other 2 pick them up. When this guy's down, these 3 are up. It always works that way. When one needs instruction or correction, when another one's got a word for them. So today I want to share with you the top 10 frustrations that we have found in pastoring. You have shared with us. I know we're pastors here. I'm going to speak biblically. I mean, I like to spiritualize everything, okay? So we'll, biblically speaking here, the top 10 pastor frustrations. And the Champions Table can address these frustrations. Number 1, the omnipresent expectation. Now, you can be everywhere, all the time, and always on time. You're omnipresent. I mean, pastors, you're pretty close to God right up there on the stage. We know that, okay? And that's their expectation. So number 1 is expectations. Now, I know you can't live up to your staff's expectations or your congregation's expectations. You know why I know that? Because I know you. And you can't live up, and neither can I. Overcoming them expectations they throw on us to want us to be perfect, or our family, or our kids, or whatever it is. So I have to overcome those expectations. I tell my church, what you see is what you get. All right. And they say, we're going to start looking. Okay, so expect what you got right here. That's as good as it gets. Number 2, the Joshua Chronicles. That is where you can pray and make the sun stand still for 1 hour and get 24 hours out of your day. That's where you have more time in your day than everybody else has in their day. And you can get things done. I had a lady call me the other night. She said, "Can you go see my friend in Lakeland Hospital?" I said, "Have you been?" "Well, no, I work." I said, "I do too." Last time I checked, I have 24 hours in my day too. And I have a family too. And I get hungry too. Occasionally I get tired and cranky too.
Bless you, Pastor.
But I'm a pastor.
Well.
Number 3, the Job conspiracy. The Job conspiracy. You remember those 3? Bildad, Eliphaz, and Zophar. Yeah. Criticism. You write them down. I'm going slow. You got to learn to deal with criticism. You're not doing things quite right. So they come to you and they say, "Pastor, I'm going to tell you this in love." Now, when you hear that, the last thing they're going to do is love you. The very last thing they're going to do is love you. Hey, John. Just these things. Okay. Hey, Richard. All right. The Job conspiracy. Putting up with criticism. When they come in and say, "Pastor, I want to talk with you," this is what I tell them. I want you to bring solutions, not problems. I know the problems, and you're one of them. Okay, bring me some solutions here, all right? So dealing with criticism, we hear this. Number 4, the Samson syndrome. The Samson syndrome. Oh, yes, it had to go there. Personal temptation. We deal with it. Personal temptation. And this is my quote. I find those things which turn my head tend to turn my heart. What we set our eyes on. What we gaze our eyes on. Where we spend our time. So we address at the table personal temptations. And we're always thinking, it's not always sexual. It might be time management. We just might be lazy. We might be forgetful. We just, you know what my wife says? She said, you know, for a pastor, you're not very compassionate sometimes. I said, oh yeah? That's what went downhill. Next, the Elisha effect. The Elisha effect. Loneliness. I'm all alone. Nobody's here to see me. Nobody's here to help me. Nobody calls us. When's the last time you stood at the front door and they walked in and said, Pastor, how are you doing? No, they want to tell you about themselves. They want to give you an order assignment. Pop their head and tip their toes, right? How are you doing? I'm all alone in this ministry. I have nobody to confide in. Nobody to share my heart with. The table does that. You're not by yourself. You're not the Lone Ranger that you choose to be. Next, the Jonah travels. The Jonah travels. Your family and your kids live in this fishbowl for all the world to see. When speaking of a person's faults, pray don't forget your own. Remember those in homes of glass should seldom throw a stone. But our family's on display. And what that means is the people in your church hate your family's sins more than they hate their own sins. What it comes down to, basically. They want to be judgmental, all right? Your family's on display. Now, my grandson takes it all in stride. But he walks into new life. He knows his papa's a pastor. He's kind of walking like, yeah, I know he's in charge, okay? I know who the pastor is. It's my papa. That's right, okay? But he's on display. Let's make him a good role model. Let us be a good role model. The table helps to bring your family in line biblically what it means to model Christ. Next, the Judas principle. Oh yeah. Finances and church budget. We've been there, haven't we? There's too much month left over at the end of your money. Anybody identify with that one? Yeah. Yeah. You like Judas, you wind up getting hung, don't you? Yeah, every time, all right? Those darn finances and the budgets and all that stuff. It's a frustration that pastors face. We have to deal with it. Remember, we're CEOs. The church is not an organization, but it is an organism. Amen. It's alive and living and feeding.
All right.
Next, the John Mark itinerary. Oh, the John Mark itinerary. Betrayal. Those darn people letting you down, who turn and go back. You remember those people. Now, if you're a pastor, and a member walks up to you and says, Pastor, I want to do this for you. I would say all is well at that moment unless you expect them to actually do that for you, okay? Because they won't come through most of the time. How many times you hear, I'll see you Sunday? Yeah, right. All right. I want to go to their house like 7. I came to see you, you didn't come see me. All right? People will let you down. Expect it. Don't get sucked into it. Let them do it, but expect they won't do it. Now, you have to be a man of your word. Why? Because we're the pastor. And we're paid to be good. All of our members, they're good for nothing, okay? All right, so we're paid to be good. They expect it. Next. Frustrations. All right, husband. Boaz bingo. Boaz bingo. Husband, be one.
Okay.
Kinsman redeemer, dating our wives, spending time with our wives. If you're a pastor's wife, raise your hand. Right now. Look at them, lady. Look at them, men. They didn't marry their pastor. They married their husband. They want their husband. Her amen back there. Now see, I know the difference because when my wife Cindy, I call her Cindy for short, when my wife Cindy comes to me, I do, okay? And she even calls me abomination, so it kind of evens out. When she comes to me, she says, if it's like family, she'll say, hey Fred, I need to talk to you about something. Okay, honey, what's up? But sometimes she'll come and she'll say, I need to talk to the pastor for a minute. I'm like, oh, jeez. I know the difference. I know the difference. Okay? She didn't marry your pastor. She married her husband. She wants to go home with her husband. She don't want to talk shop 24 hours a day. We can do it till our heads fall off. I know, we can do it, and we love it. They don't. They need a break. So how do we be one? It's frustration at the table here all the time. Balancing that time. That's the Barnabas papers, the Barnabas papers. That's why I finished it. Encouragement. We need encouragement. As an iron sharpens iron, I need someone to lift me up. We give out every week. We give out. Someone needs to put back. Put back. I need to be fed too. I need to be encouraged too. I need to be prayed for too. Ask me how I'm doing once in a while. I'll tell you. At the last pastor's meeting, he's probably sitting here. I had a pastor tell me, he said, Pastor Fred, I want to tell you something. God's made to tell you something. I'm like, okay. I'm like my wife now, but go ahead, tell me. He said, this is what I'm going to tell you. Every Sunday morning, when you walk in your church, you walk in love. No matter how they walk in. I thought that would preach right there. No matter how they walk in, you walk in love. Right. You love them. I mean, as a pastor, I want to do two things. I want to lead, and I want to feed. And in my sick work mind, I just want them to follow and swallow. That's all I want them to do. That's all I want them to do. You know what they do? They spit and they quit. That's what they do. They spit and they quit. Just follow me, man. Just follow me. That's all I want them to do. So what's a pastor to do? This is what we mentioned. Expectations, time management, criticism, personal temptation, loneliness, family time, dating our wife, finance, encouragement. Paul's pretty good at it. That's what we do. That's what I did this morning at my table. That's what we do. We encourage you. We come alongside of you. So if you join a champions table, it will help these areas. It won't do it for you, but they'll be going through it with you. So we want to do a visual. We want to show you what a champions table looks like and what one doesn't look like. Okay? KJ, right here, please. He's in my group. Thank you. All right. We got here, need some people close. Right here. In the coat, all dressed up. There you go. Right here. There we go. Gary, come on down. Come on, Gary. We went to seminary together. Good old Pastor Gary. Come on, Gary. Sit right here.
Katie, you know what a doctor says cholesterol is too high?
Oh, that's right. Well, give it to me, okay? All right. If we see the table, this is the champions table. We're doing an object lesson today. You've already had your lunches, right? Now it's dessert time. All right. Now, what do you got down there, KJ? You got a mountain of steel on a plate, what you got right there, brother?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, got some cheesecake.
Got a knife and fork.
You got a donut bigger than a spare tire. Okay. I got triple fudge chocolate, and you got
cookie brown
crumb cake for the crummies. What you got? That's right. What you got right there. All right. All right.
I'll take it.
Here's what it is. Look, we all have different desserts. You notice that? They're all different. Here's what it represents: different denominations, different races, bivocational, vocational, different sized churches, different belief systems, different doctrines, rural, city, contemporary, more traditional. He's wrong. I told you that. Okay. All right. It represents all the different flavors of ministry. But watch this. We come together. We break bread together. We eat together and discuss all these things, dating our wives and time management. But we eat our desserts. Guess what? It's all sweet.
Amen.
It's all different, but it's all sweet. You get filled. I get filled. You get filled. You get filled. But it's all different. You see? When we started this, Paul and I were told that you couldn't bring white pastors and black pastors together. Nice hand. I'll let go now. Okay? All right? They were wrong. They were wrong. Or vocational and bivocational. Or large churches and small churches. Here's why it works. We don't talk church a lot. We don't count nickels and noses. You know, my church, we run about 1,000. We catch about 100. Okay? That's all we catch on Sunday. All right? We're not comparing. I'm talking about the man who just happens to be a pastor. You see? But Gary has struggles over in Polk County that I might not have over here in Hillsborough County. Different sized churches, different flavors, but it's all sweet. It's all good. Isn't it?
Amen.
All right. Gary, would you do the honors? Will you serve up some pie here, since you don't like donuts? Serve some pie here. Give me the big piece, would you? All right. There you go. There you go, brother. Now we got pumpkin pie. There we go. I'll take this one right here. Thank you very much. Oh, look at this. I got half the pie. You got a quarter of the pie. You got a little tiny slice. Here's what happens when you meet with your staff. Or 3 other guys from your own denomination. We're all the same. I know your skeletons, because your wife told me. Okay, and you know mine. We're in the same association. So then what do you get? My church is bigger than your church. You can't relate, man. Look at that little scrawny piece over there. You can't handle this much pie. Look at you. You don't know what it's like. He knows a little better. Or he says, you know, I've got a little piece. I feel kind of intimidated by this guy. He's got a bigger piece. What do you run? What do you baptize? What's your budget? No. See, it's all the same. Therefore, it's competition. Would you believe there's competition in the ministry? There's jealousy in the ministry? I've never been jealous of other pastors. Okay? Where do you pastor at?
What? Actually, I'm volunteer staff.
Okay, very good. Pastor Robert Heron, right there. Pastor of Church God. I love the brother. He's the 2nd greatest preacher in Plant City. I can tell you that, honestly. Okay? There's no competition here. He's number 2 in my book. That's all there's to it. You see what I'm saying? There's no competition. We want to know about your home life. And you're dating your wife. I say, you're dating your wife. Take her to the movies. Spending time in God's Word. Having devotion. Spending time at the table. I want to come back to church. I have my own sheep to deal with. Okay? You got your own sheep to deal with. Okay? We can't do it together. Meeting your staff is not the same. You've got to get outside your staff. Maybe outside your denomination. With white and black. Red and yellow. Pentecostal and Baptist. Vocational, bivocational. Traditional, contemporary. Large and small. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not Dr. Caldwell, even though he is one. Okay? It's KJ. Okay? Or Reverend, or Doctor, or Bishop. Or it's just Fred and Gary and KJ. I have no idea what your name is.
Rich.
Oh, yes, you can say Rich. Are you? No, you're poor. All right, I'm rich. Most pastors are. That's the table. Usually, because every championship has to have like a facilitator, and I'm probably it. Okay, I'm probably the facilitator at my table, but probably Jesse. I talk less at my table than Kevin, or KJ, or Randy. I talk less than anybody usually. Okay, just kind of, you know. Because you know how it says in the Word, you know, the sower goes out to sow seed, and some waters, and some cultivates, and some weeds. Well, I fertilize, okay? All right, so I probably talk less than everybody. All right? I kind of just bring it all together. But everybody learns. And we're all different. So blacks and whites, Pentecostal and Methodist can be together. We have a Jewish rabbi. We had a remember Pastor Wade, our cranking Catholic father, jamming on the piano. It takes all kinds. We bring it to the table. And then we bring that suitcase I was telling you about. My suitcase of burdens. I lay it down on the table every Thursday morning. I used to start out by saying, does anyone need a few moments today? Who needs some time today? And invariably, someone's got an issue in their life. I need some time today. They start unpacking their suitcase. And we start packing their stuff up. We start taking the burden off of them. But when I leave the table, my suitcase is full. I've unpacked mine, but I've packed up yours. I carry your burdens, you carry my burdens. See, so we're all pastors, but we're all different. We can't be the same in our churches. It's not about the pastor. It's about the man who happens to be a pastor. That makes sense? Let's give our guys a good hand. Thank you, guys.